In the previous classes, we have discussed how to solve the problem based on the four methods, that is by mid-ordinate, average ordinate, then the Simpson's one-third rule and the trapezoidal rule. This is how we have solved the problems based on the area by using the different formulas. Now we are in today's class, we are going to solve the problem based on the area based on the coordinate method. In this coordinate method, we will be using the coordinates x and y. Suppose if an area is drawn, right, this is an your pentagon which is drawn on with the help of the x and y coordinates, right. The point A will be having its coordinate at xa and ya, and then the coordinate B will be having xb and the height yb, right, and the coordinate C will be having the distance, the horizontal distance xc and the vertical distance yc, and the coordinate D will be having xd and yd, right. So like this, what they are going to give you, if an area is present on an coordinate, they are going to give you those coordinates, right, the a b c d e. They are going to give you the coordinates. What are the coordinates of that is a at x-axis and y at the point of A at y-axis. Similarly, B, what is its x coordinate, what is its y coordinate, right? Like this, they are going to give you give you the points of the corresponding areas coordinates they are going to give. By using these coordinates, you need to find out the area of the given cross section. Okay, now here we are going to, in order to find out the area by coordinates, we are going to use the formula, that is area is equal to half, right, half into sigma p minus sigma q. So for in order to determine sigma p, what we are going to use the formula is sigma p is given by xa and yb. We are going to multiply, and the coordinates of point B and the vertical coordinate of point C, we are going to multiply. Then the horizontal coordinates of C and the vertical coordinate of D, we are going to multiply. Then the coordinate of D, the horizontal coordinate of D and to the vertical coordinate of E, we are going to multiply. Like this we are going to do. So here you need to remember is xy, right, A, B, xy, and again xy will be common over here, AB, BC, CD, DE and EA. This thing you need to remember. XY will be common for all. Here you are going to start with AB, BC, CD, DE and EA. Then the sigma Q is given by XB, XY will be common, BA, CB, DC, ED and AE. This you need to go reverse in order to solve the sigma Q. Now we are going to solve the problem based upon the coordinate method, the area by coordinate method. The perpendicular offset was taken from a chain line to calculate the enclosed area by coordinates R. They have given the chainage, that is 0 and 0, 6.2, 14.4, 17, 27.2 and the chainage 40.6. Now offsets they have given is 6.52 and 7.34, 4.84, 5.26 and 8.36. Along with that, what they have given is they have given the points. Okay, these are, they have given the points A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, which is named like this: A, B, C, D, C, D, okay, E, F, G, H, I. Okay, they have given. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Okay, so this they have given along with the points, that is x, A is 0, 0, B is 0, 6.52, then C is 6.2 and 7.34, D is 4.84 and 14.4, E is your 5.26 and 27.2, F is okay 27.2 and the 5.26. Okay, so this is what these data will be given to you. Now this is XA and this is XA, XB. Okay, this is XA, YA, XB, YB, XC, YC, right? XD, YD, XE YE, okay, XF YF. So like this you need to have this understanding. Now what is, now the formula is half sigma p minus sigma q. What sigma p formula says? It is XA YB. Now this is your XA, okay, this is your A and this is your B. Now XA YB, okay, XA YB 0, okay, your XA 0 into YB, so 6.52 it is 0. Now next what is the formula? XB into YC. So you will be multiplying like this for P, okay, you will be multiplying like this for P. So 60 into 7.34, 6.2 into 4.84, 14.4 into 5.26, you will be multiplying like this for P. Then 27.2 into 8.36 plus 4 here 40.60 and into 0, so everything will be 0 here. After all values are 0, so it will become 0. So sigma p will become 333.144. Now you need to find out sigma q. Okay, sigma q, what is the formula? XB into YA. So you are going to have a reverse, XB into YA, XC into YB. So you will be calculating like this, XB into YA for sigma, this is for P and this is for Q. You will be calculating like this, XB into YA. So XB is how much? 0 into 0, so it will be 0. Now here 6.2 into 6.52 into 6.2, okay, then 14.4 into 7.34 like this, okay, 27.2 into 4.84, 5.40.6 into 5.26, okay. So if you do like this, if you go on like doing this, you are going to end with Q value, you will be getting it as 333.144. Q value will be, you will be getting it as 830.74. So half area is equal to half sigma p minus sigma q. So you will be getting the area as 248.8 square meters. So this is how you will be solving the problem on your based upon the coordinate method. So you need to solve the problem by using the different textbook for the area from coordinates, right? Now what we will do is we will be solving the problem based upon the volume. Now the next we will be entering into the next point of or the next topic of the module 5, that is nothing but the volume. Now in the previous classes what we have done is we have calculated the area, okay, we have calculated the area in the previous class, that is only the area we have calculated by using mid ordinate, average ordinate or prismoidal rule, right? Now what we are going to calculate in the next aspect is our volume. Now why volume is necessary, right? Suppose if you are going to have a construction of a road or a building or any type of an infrastructure, right? What we want is we want the surface to be either horizontal, right? The surface to be exactly horizontal. We cannot construct our building on, say, very too much undulated land, right? So in order to have these on a horizontal surface, right, or in order to construct any of the buildings in a horizontal surface, what we need to have is we want the surface to be having a zero slope or having a very less amount of slope. Might be a road or might be a building, right, very less, or we cannot construct it on a too much undulated surface. So here we are going to calculate the volume. Okay, volume is nothing but, okay, length into breadth into depth, right? So if we want to construct anything, we want, if suppose if an undulated area, if you want to construct anything, so what you are going to see is you will be seeing, you will be taking the leveling and you will be seeing how the formation level is there, right? Based upon that you will be deciding yourself whether you are whether you should go for cutting or filling. If the area is having the flat slope, right? If it is a flat, then you may go for the construction. If it is having say too much amount of undulations, then you may go for cutting and filling operation. Now let me tell you what is your cutting and filling operation. Suppose if the ground is undulated, this is your ground formation level. If it is undulated, right, if we want to construct a road over here, we cannot construct the road on this undulated surface, right? So what we need to have is, we need to go for cutting and filling operation, right? For that, here you will be taking your RLs by using theodolite or dumpy level. You will be taking your RL, so you know that the how much slope is there in that particular area, right? So based upon that, you will fix one gradient, right? You will fix one gradient, and then you will go for either cutting or filling operation. You will fix this line, how much slope you want, or extremely straight line you want, or some slope you want, right? You will fix it and you will go for cutting and filling operation. Now what is this cutting and filling? Now the ground is undulated, you have fixed your gradient over this particular line, right? Now this thing is extra, right? So what you need to do is, you need to go for cutting. Okay, you need to go for cutting. Now here your formation level, your gradient line is fixed over here. Now the ground is having the too much amount of undulation here. Now what you need to do is, whatever the cut thing you have done it, here you are going to fill it. Now again formation level is fixed over here. Now again you will be going for filling. So like this, again might be it is going to be here, again you may go for cutting, right, and filling. So for this, what you want is, in order to calculate how much amount of the material is you need to require in this cutting and filling operations, right, you need to find out how much quantity of volume of material you require, either in cutting or either in filling. How much quantity of the material is required. In order to calculate, what you are going to do is, you need to find out the volume. For that purpose, we need to find out the volume of the material that has to be the material that has to be either go in cutting or in the filling, that you need to have it. Okay, so this is regarding your volume aspect. Now we are going to solve the problem on volumes based on the two basic methods. That is, one is based upon the trapezoidal rule, and one is the prismoidal rule. The trapezoidal, we are going to calculate the volume based upon the two methods, that is volume by trapezoidal method and the volume by the prismoidal method. The two methods we are going to follow in order to calculate the volumes. Okay, now here the trapezoidal method, we will be having again the formations, right? We are going to have the ground shapes like this. Okay, now here what we are going to do is, suppose if the volume we want to calculate, okay, now if the volume we need to calculate, now we are going to divide it into the number of segments. That is, in order to simplify the things, what we are going to do is, we are going to divide this particular volume into the number of segments. So this is your area 1 with having the offset your O1, O2. This will be the area 1. Then again this is area A2, area A3, A4, 5, 6. Okay, now what we are going to do is, in order to calculate the volume, formula we are going to use is, V is equal to D by 2. D is nothing but the distance, D by 2 plus A1, this is A1, this is AN, then 2 plus all the other areas before n minus 1. Okay, this is A1, this is A1, and this is AN. Okay, so this D divided by 2 plus A1 plus AN plus 2 into AN minus 1. This formula you will be using it in order to determine the volume. Next is by using the prismoidal. Okay, if your given section is not of having the trapezoidal way, or if it is having the prismoidal section, then we will be using the prismoidal rule. Okay, so prismoidal formula we are going to use is, suppose this is having your prismoidal section, right? So here we will be using the formula V is equal to D divided by 3, that is the distance, D divided by 3, then A1 plus AN, okay, A1 plus AN plus 4 into A2 plus A4 plus an minus 1 plus 2 into A3 into an minus 1. Okay. Now, this formula you have already utilized in your Prismaidal rule in order to find the area, but here you have used the offset. The similar formula you have used in your area method in order to find out the area, but in the area method what you have done is, instead of area A1 an, you have used the offset O1 on, like this. Okay, 4 into O2 plus O4 plus A O n minus 1, like this you have used. So it is very easy to remember this particular formula. Then you will be calculating your the area, right? Suppose one section is given, right? One section is given, then one prism is given, then you will be calculating the area of that prism. You will be using the formula A is equal to H into B plus NH. Now here what is here? This is one vertical and n horizontal. Okay, n one vertical and this is the horizontal. Now what is H? H is nothing but the height of the prism. H is nothing but the height. B is nothing but the width. N is nothing but the slope. H is nothing but the height. So in order to calculate the area of a single prism, you will be using the formula, right? Suppose you want to find out the formula of a single prism, you will be using the formula A is equal to H into B plus NH, where H stands for height, B stands for breadth, N stands for slope, and H again stands for height. So this is what you will be using the formula for to find out the area of the prism. Okay. Now we will be using in the next class we will be using the volume formulas. By using the trapezoidal and by using the prismoidal formula, we are going to solve the problems on volumes. Okay. Thank you.